having to replace things. Apartments in general need durable materials.
Yeah.
So, but we're taking a lot of things that we learned here as far as materials, insulation values, orientation, the big windows, and we're incorporating it into the larger building.
Great, great. Well, before we walk around, which we will in here in just a moment, take 1 minute. Before we started, you were telling me about some of the other projects you're doing around the country, also around sort of affordable, sustainable housing.
Right.
Go ahead and tell us what a couple of those are.
Well, we've been working on a project since 2001, High Point here in West Seattle, which took, I think it's 160 acres of land in West Seattle that used to be military barracks and was given to the Housing Authority of Seattle. And we've revitalized that, rebuilt the entire project, all still affordable, sustainable, as well as subsidized housing there, and given that whole community a completely new outlook, and brought the life back to that community. It was not as nice as it is now, that's for sure. So we're still working on Seattle, and that's a nationally recognized,
that's
very
actually quite a famous
sustainable
project. Yeah.
We're also we're taking what we learned here with this modular product, and we're working with the Jackson Hole Community Housing Trust, and we're building for them 48 units of modular townhomes. Again, a workforce housing level of home ownership for a community that the median home price is $1.25 million. And when you're talking about Jackson Hole and affordability, you're talking about everyday people like yourself and me are going to be needing a place to live. It's not, affordability there is completely different, I think, than a lot of places. And that's very common in resort areas. We're in the process of building right now on Lopez Island a project for the Lopez Community Land Trust. Again, workforce housing for the island. The island is mostly second homes for people. A very beautiful place to live, very expensive. These homes are a little different. This project was trying to go for zero net energy within 5 years. And these homes are all going to be homeowner built in order to keep the affordability down. So those are all straw bale homes, passively solar cooled and heated, and located on 7 acres on Lopez, but we've only disturbed 2 acres. This was a client that had even farther reaching goals for sustainability than we had ever seen. And we really pushed the limits on that. So we're reusing water for those. We're actually reusing rainwater for toilets and for laundry there. The homeowners, like I said, will come out and they're helping build their own homes. And very, very high efficiency windows, because that's the key to making sure we have the solar gain. We have a earthen floor that's used to absorb all of the heat and make sure that it's dissipated, at night when it's cooler. And we're very proud of that project, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And that's just 11 small little homes.
That's great. That's great. Well, let's walk around these 2 units and see what they look like.
Okay.
And this is Glenn Heemstra. This is Futurist.com online TV, and thank you to Tammy, and we'll see what she tells us about the house as we walk around now. Thank you.
Hi, come on in. So this is the upper unit of the 2 units that we worked on, and this one's 450 square feet of living space. What you'll notice in both of these units is that we have not divided up the space into little compartments like you'd find in a normal house. And the reason that we did that is we're finding that people don't live traditional lifestyles like you would think about anymore. Most people don't have a need for a den or all of these little compartmented rooms in a building. So we've left this completely up to the personality of the person that would be living here. And what that allows them to do, although we have furnished this living room as a living room, this could be where someone puts their pool table if that's what they have. And the room that we have as the bedroom could be where their futon couch and their TV is. We haven't dictated how people live in these units. One of the things that you'll notice with these units is the glass. These floor-to-ceiling windows are high-efficiency fiberglass windows, and although they're probably more expensive than a vinyl window, what it allowed us to do was not only maintain the energy efficiency, but we've opened up this space to the outdoors. And the success of the small spaces really relies on it not feeling cramped and not feeling enclosed. If we had taken and put a standard window here, it would have had a completely different feel. So the success of the space really relies on this floor-to-ceiling glass, and we really haven't lost a lot of efficiency. The kitchens, you'll notice, are all much smaller than you would see in your standard home or even apartment maybe. But when you're talking about urban downtown living, this is really all the kitchen that you need. Most people who live downtown, they do their shopping once or twice a week sometimes. Their fridge just has what's going to get them through the week, and they're not really doing a lot of dishes. So these appliances, although standard right from a local appliance store, are much smaller than you see in other locations, but completely functioning and just enough kitchen for someone to come in and live in. The other thing that we have in these units is a high efficiency heat pump system. This provides all heating and cooling for the units, very similar to what you'd see in a hotel. And what that allowed us to do was have very efficient heating. And for a unit of this size, that small unit is actually perfect for what we're going to be doing. It's going to be controlled by a thermostat through the whole house computer system, along with all of the other electronics in the apartment, which allows us to really maintain the amount of electricity that we use and give somebody the opportunity to be more energy efficient.
Tell us about the whole house computer system just for a second.
So this whole house computer system is a Control4 system donated by Magnolia Hi-Fi. It actually is a wireless system that is hooked into the light switches and the outlets and the lighting system for these units, as well as the thermostat for the heating and cooling. It could also be hooked up in an ideal situation to your water heater, to a Wi-Fi system, to a security system. It could actually start controlling all of the electrical functions within this unit and help you to use it in as efficient a way as possible. You can even set up scenes where your whole unit goes on a sleep mode every day when you leave for work, and then anticipates you coming home each night.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Okay, so tell us about how they all fit together and about the construction a little bit.
Well, the siding of this is the same hardy siding that we saw inside the deck. So this is still that 50-year siding, very durable rain screen system. As you can see coming off of the roof, we have the downspouts. That's where we're going to be collecting all of our rainwater. This is just a demonstration of what we'd be doing, but we'd be collecting that in the main building and using that for irrigation where we could. When these units arrived, they actually didn't have any siding on them, so they were just the rain screen system waiting for the final layer to come on. And the reason we did that was these two units would have had sort of a belt around the middle. Where they come together, there's a seam, and your contractor has to come on and cover that seam.
Okay.
We didn't want this to have a belt in the middle, but when we do the main buildings, we may actually have more of the siding that comes with the units themselves, and then we just have that seaming that takes place, again, shortening the duration of the construction for the units. Well, the stair and walkway system, which we just have a little piece of here, and we had some weight issues for the demonstration. We had to make sure we didn't overload this existing deck.